So on yesterday's show, we were splitting in percentages, the top three, on the percentage that they're going to win the Premier League. So we're going to take a look at the odds for when it does come to who's going to win the Premier League. You can see as they are, obviously Manchester City, the favourites to do so. The guys were giving like a chunk 50 and then splitting it the other way. Luis Garcia obviously gave it a 50% Liverpool and then split it the other way. What are you going for, Shaka?
I think City are favourites. I've always thought City were favourites. So I think I'm going to echo what Stevie said yesterday. 50% Manchester City, 25% to the other two. I just, listen, City have been here before. They've done it. They're coming good. De Bruyne, who is arguably the biggest game changer in the Premier League, is back fit and at the very least today got through 90 minutes. And while we're full of praise for Arsenal and their performance against Liverpool, a week ago, we were talking about an Arsenal that lost to West Ham, an Arsenal that dropped points against Fulham. And with Champions League to come, still for them, how do they manage their games when they're back again playing twice a week? That is still an unknown for them. We know City and Liverpool and their experience in managing those circumstances. So I'm just thinking that those two have an edge, slight one on Arsenal.
How are you splitting it, Mario?
I don't want to be boring, but what Shaka said, I picked City at the beginning of the season. And then I had to change a little bit, because I had Liverpool. But no, I have to give them the 25. I think Arsenal, like what he said yesterday, what they showed us, they said like the race wasn't over on their side. So they still want to beat, and that's why I will give them 25. But City, I think... Look, when you look at City, the key thing for City now is that all the guys that were out are coming back. Coming back in good form. I'm talking about they're already back because of Haaland and De Bruyne is already back. But I mean, those are the key figures for that team. And I think that's why for that side, I don't have to make too much about it. It's 50, 25, 25.
Same for you?
Nope. 60...
Go ahead.
I'm not going to throw a curveball. I can tell you're looking at me.
No, I'm waiting on the maths, really. Is the maths I'm interested in?
The maths?
Yeah.
Do I look like Don Hutchinson to you? Right? Hey, at least I attended school on the odd occasion.
And he's got eyebrows.
By the way, my phone's went off. I'm going 60% City.
Wait. What do you mean your phone? Were you working it out? Were you working out the percentages on your phone? after all that, you had your calculator open.
Don't give the game away. I wasn't. 60% City, 20% split between Arsenal and Liverpool because I think it's nip and tuck between those two sides.
Okay.
Let me give you another reason why. I was looking at this before we went on to the Arsenal thing. Here's the bench today. Stones, Kovacic, Grealish, for City that is, Doku, Stefan Ortega, he's a goalkeeper, it doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
Akanji, Nunez, Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis on the bench.
Wow.
On the bench. When you look at, come on, and that's not a calculator. What can't speak, can't lie, Shaq. That's not a calculator.
Don't try to change it.
Calculator.
Don't try to change it now.
60, 20 is 100. Take it from me.
Says Craig's calculator.
Where I went to school. Where was I? When you look at the other teams, Liverpool and Arsenal, whenever take yesterday, for example, when the game was going on, what's the team? Who's playing? Who's fit? Who's not? What's he doing? What's Arteta doing? What's Klopp doing? How many people will actually ask that about Man City?
Yeah.
If it's not De Bruyne, he was out half the season. Haaland's been out. It's Julian Alvarez. If Phil Foden's having a great time. If it's not Phil Foden, it's Doku. He was on the bench. Grealish was on the bench. Bernardo Silva. Rodri. I mean, it's less about one. It's less about one or two players for Man City than it is. I mean, it potentially all falls apart if Liverpool and Arsenal lose 2 or 3. If either of those lose 2 or 3, potentially all falls apart. For City, it doesn't. And on top of that, obviously they've been there, they've seen the movie, they've done it. They've only won the Champions League once, but they've been the best team in Europe for a good 3 or 4 years. They've battered Munich, they've battered Real Madrid. pretty much battered everybody who comes their way. And they're now hitting, guess what? They're hitting the straps. The steam's coming out the engine. It's the second half of the season. So it's up to the others to stick with them. I still firmly believe, I've said all along, I think Arsenal potentially are in the strongest position to do so. But it is nip and tuck between them and Liverpool. It is very, very close. But City are going to take some stopping. And when you look at that bench, unless that changes, unless they have a horrific injury, Leicester, people will suddenly lose form, they're going to be the team to beat again. And of course, with that result today, Kate, it's in their hands. They win every game, which they're unlikely to do. But win every game, they win the league. It's simple maths.
Simple maths with a little bit of a help of a calculator.